We want to welcome you to the annual Mayor's State of the City Address, sponsored each year by the Rotary Club of Salem, the Salem Area Chamber of Commerce, and the Salem City Club, in cooperation, of course, with the City of Salem and the Office of the Mayor. We do still have several people outside who are getting their food and arriving, but so please, if you can, scoot over, make room for people. I think we're going to have a definite full house today for this event. So I want to thank you all for attending, and it's good to see you out there today. And like I said, we've got several more coming. The State of the City has been held during a traditional Rotary meeting for the last 40 years, and this is something to where we've come to a combined event where those three organizations are proud to host this on an annual basis. So with that said, would you please stand? We're going to say the Pledge of Allegiance, and then I'd like to also introduce Sam Skillern from the Salem Leadership Foundation, who will be immediately following the Pledge of Allegiance doing our invocation for the day. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing.
Let's give thanks. Lord, we thank you for this day. We thank you for this gathering of people from across our city. We thank you for the leadership of our city, for their time, for their wisdom, for their perseverance, for making the tough decisions and being out there representing us on a regular basis. There's a great many needs in our community, Lord, and we ask for strength and wisdom and creativity to meet those needs. We also live in one of the most beautiful places in America. And we just want to give thanks for the assets in our community, and we want to ask for your wisdom as we build Shalom. Here we live in the city of Shalom, the city of peace and well-being. And yes, there are needs and challenges, no question about it, but we are rising to the task of meeting those challenges, and today we will hear about how that's happening. So we just give thanks in your name. Amen.
Thank you. You may be seated. It's an honor for me to introduce the head table to you this afternoon, and I'm going to start to my right, just over here. I'd ask that you hold your applause, please, to the end, as we have our dignitaries in the room, but we want to make sure that we just hold applause as we get through our introductions this afternoon, please. So to my far right is Tom Golden, president of the Rotary Club of Salem, Councilor Chuck Bennett, Ward 1, Councilor Laura Tessler, Ward 2, Councilor Brad Nenke, Ward 3, Councilor Rich Clausen, Ward 4, Madam Mayor of Salem, Anna Peterson. To my left, Councilor Diana Dickey, Ward 5, Councilor Cheryl Thomas, Ward 6, Councilor Warren Bednars, Ward 7, Councilor Dan Clem, Ward 8, and Russ Beaton, President of the Salem City Club. Please give your applause today. Thank you. Now at this time, we are going to hear from each of the representatives of our sponsoring organizations. First will be Tom Golden from the Rotary Club. Then second will be Russ Beaton from the Salem City Club. And then I will conclude as we head into our mayor's message for today.
Aloha. The founder of Rotary, Paul Harris, once said, "He who has once given himself to dreaming is not easily satisfied." In the Rotary Club of Salem, we have big dreams and we expect big results. For example, in Salem, we've helped build playgrounds, helped with a pavilion, and over 20 years have given every fourth grader a dictionary in the Salem-Keizer area and have a workplace food drive with Marion Polk Food Share. This year, our annual Good Works project will be working with the Center of Hope and Safety. Internationally, we have helped save lives with clean water projects, as our wells being built in Haiti by people right here in this room that have helped save lives. And we are just this close to eradicating polio from the world. And Rotary's been very instrumental in that. And one thing I'll just mention about fundraising real quick, that if you give $1 to Polio Plus, the Gates Foundation gives $2 to match that. So that's $3 to eradicate polio in just the last 3 countries of the world. Pretty good return on the dollar. So in all of this, we're not your grandfather's Rotary Club. We're not your father's Rotary Club. We take our work seriously, but we have fun doing it. Congratulations, Salem.
Welcome, welcome to you all from the City Club, and we are once again honored to co-sponsor this event. Looking forward, Mayor Peterson, to hearing your comments. Even though we have 3 organizations that sponsor this, I like to think of us as a whole in a community. The City Club is a member of the Chamber, for instance, and Tom Golden, with or without his red nose, is on the City Club board. And so the City Club likes to sponsor or thinks of itself as sponsoring civic and civil discourse on issues of importance to this community. And of course, as such, we think everybody ought to be interested in the community, and so we think everybody ought to be a member of the City Club. We invite you all to join, whether you are interested in keeping up with civic affairs or whether you think you ought to, or simply out of pure guilt. We'll invite you to be members of the City Club. We've had a very good year, highlighted by our series on health care. This Friday, 2 days from now, we will host Jane Lubchenco, former NOAA director and back as a distinguished professor of marine biology at Oregon State. So with that, we welcome you all to join and enjoy the City Club. Mary Louise Venata comes by occasionally, and we make out and about, so what's not to like about engaging with the Salem City Club? Here again, we're pleased to be here today, and we look forward, Mayor Peterson, to your comments. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Russ. We appreciate your partnership and help putting this lunch on today. The Salem Area Chamber of Commerce has almost 1,300 members strong, and we are committed to a strong and vibrant economy, one that is full of job opportunities and people who are qualified to take on those job opportunities and those responsibilities. We have 3 main pathways that we try to make pretty obvious to all of our membership. We find that one of these 3 areas resonates significantly with each of our members, and that is 1 being community involvement, 2 being business advocacy, and the 3rd is marketing and visibility. And those are things that we continue to advocate for and move forward amongst our membership to create a better place in Salem to live, eat, work, play, all the fun things that we enjoy doing and why we all live here in the Mid-Willamette Valley. So with that said, I want to make sure and now introduce Dewey Witten. She's with the Salem Real Estate Group, and she's going to introduce Mayor Peterson today. Please welcome Dewey.
Thank you, Ryan, and hello to my many friends out there. Anna called me about a week ago, left a message and said, would you consider, and my jaw dropped. So it was a great honor to be asked to introduce her today. She took office in January of 2011. She's currently in her 2nd term, and this is her 4th State of the City address. She attended Roosevelt High School in Portland and received a Bachelor of Science in Journalism from University of Oregon. She's married to Edwin Peterson, who's joined us up in the front row over here. Welcome, Edwin. And Edwin is the former Chief Justice of the Oregon Supreme Court. I had a long list of accolades about Anna, but I'm not going to bore you with those. I'm going to let Anna speak for herself, and the video that we'll be sharing will also speak for all of Anna's accomplishments over the years. A couple of things that you don't know about Anna: she likes yellow roses, she enjoys horses, and she plays a mean game of croquet. Please join me. She's a dear friend and one of the most gracious people I know. Please join me in welcoming Mayor Anna Peterson.
Good afternoon and welcome. I just thank every one of you for taking time to come today. And I certainly do want to make a special thank you to the Salem Area Chamber of Commerce, to Salem Rotary and all the Rotary clubs, and to the Salem City Club. Your continuous support for this special event means a lot to our city because it really shows how we can collaborate, how we can come together and work together, and you know that that's strong in my heart. Special thanks also to Dewey Witten. Thank you for the introduction, and thanks to Sam Skilren for such a lovely, lovely invocation. I have many friends, dear friends here today, and I know that I ask a lot of you. I ask you to lead boards and commissions. I've asked you to take roles in my campaigns. I've asked you to take a back seat sometimes when I am so busy that we can't be together, and I apologize about that. But I'll tell you from the bottom of my heart, friends are the thing that can hold a mayor together. So thank you to my friends. I have to say my very most important friend, and I want to give a really proper introduction. He's my confidant, my wise counsel, my partner for 43 years, Edwin Peterson. Edwin, please stand up. Thank you. And here at the head table is a collaboration of the highest order, our Salem City Council. We work hard to understand the issues and the needs in our city. And even when we don't agree on an issue, we still support and mentor one another. We work side by side. We share the commitment to make Salem as good as we possibly can. And I want to tell you, working with them is such a joy. Every one of you, I truly love and embrace every one of you because you work so hard. You always come prepared. You always come willing and able. And again, when we even don't all agree, we all work together, and that's been particularly important for me. So on my far right, Council President Chuck Bennett, the person who always has my back, my left, my right. My great gratitude to you, Chuck. Councilor Laura Tesler, who says this is her last term. Laura, I'm going to miss you so much, but I'm going to make your last year a really busy one. So, bring it on, she says. We also have Councilor Rich Clausen next to her, and Rich also says this is his last term with three children and one on the way. I can't compete with that. What can I say? Councilor Brad Nanke. Brad is our institutional memory, has been on the council, I think, 12 years? I'm in my 14th. He's in his 14th year. Who's counting? I just never want him to leave. He's absolutely wonderful always. Down at the far end, we have Councilor Dan Clem, who's Ward 8 from West Salem, also has decided to leave. I think there's a pattern going here. I'm a little worried about this. All right, Councilor Dan Clem, and I've often introduced him as Mr. West Salem. Councilor Warren Benars is here with us, and Warren is our newest member on the council, although this is his second year. He represents Ward 7. Next to him, Cheryl Thomas, councilor from Ward 6, and she too is bowing out and is going to be changing her residence. So I'll let her share with you at some point her plans and her future. And then Diana Dickey, Councilor Diana Dickey, who has been a solid support again for me, and not just on the council, but way back when we did No Meth Not in My Neighborhood together. So I'm very proud to have such a fine council. Working with us are our highly professional city manager and department heads, chiefs, and our municipal court judge. I'm not certain if everyone is here, but I'm going to read their names because I want you to know who they are. We have Judge Jane Aiken, who's the municipal court judge. Our city manager, Linda Norris, I know is not able to be here today, but you are going to hear from her in a minute. Our deputy city manager, Casey Duncan. Our city attorney, Dan Atchison. Public Works Director is Peter Fernandez. Fire Chief is Mike Niblock. Police Chief is Jerry Moore. Urban Development Director is John Wales. Human Resources Director is Connie Manel. Our Administrative Services Director is Deborah Bond. It's an honor and a privilege working with our city staff. It's always a pleasure for me, and they've been tremendously supportive and tremendously helpful to the entire council. Our city employees deserve special recognition for their daily work and the many ways that they assist everyone in the community. They do food drives, toy collections, blood drives, and numerous other community projects that really make life in Salem a lot better. A special thank you to our volunteers from the City Council, we're all volunteers, to our boards and commission members, and all those who give their time in the library and at Center 50 Plus, the police department, fire department, in our parks, at our historic properties, and in our neighborhoods. They're vital to the smooth running operations of City Hall and across the community. Today's State of the City speech for the first time actually has a title. It's Salem, Strong, Vibrant, Safe, and United. We are still the collaboration capital, so I don't ever want any of you to forget that that really is our defining quality. It's our foundation. Last year's speech was peppered with examples of collaboration, and those partnerships and similar projects could be the basis of today's remarks. But instead today, I want to show you the results of collaborations. I want to show you how those collaborations make Salem stronger, more vibrant, safer, and more united. So we have a video, so we'll take a moment now and start with the video.
Salem, strong, vibrant, safe, and united. A strong economy is key to our community's success. With regular infrastructure improvements, Salem is ready to be the home of top employers in the state.
When the 2008 recession started, the first thing we had to turn to was stabilizing our finances. The next thing we did was get ready for our economic recovery. We've developed land, we've simplified our codes, we've extended permit processes to help builders and developers, and we've done a lot of strategic planning that has led us to where we need to be in the future so that we're ready for today's needs and also ready for a bright future for Salem.
Yeah, we're constructing an office building here in Salem to consolidate our headquarters people into one location. We picked Salem because they were very welcoming to agricultural-based businesses. It meant a lot to us. You don't always find that in municipalities. Mayor Peterson and her staff were very welcoming and accommodating to what it is we needed, and we're excited about being located here. Look forward to being here a long, long time.
This facility here is a freezer facility to help support the agricultural community here in Salem, Oregon. The city, the infrastructure, the land, the community have been very welcoming and have made this project very exciting for our company.
Garmin has chosen to expand in here in Salem because we can be co-located with the airport, because we find it a place where we can really attract and retain our top talent. The city supports our people, and then our people become a big part of the community. We've really found it's a key thing to be able to attract and retain top talent here in Salem.
We have had a wonderful experience working with the town, with the county, and particularly with the local community. The engineers, architects, contractors, and subcontractors that we've worked with have been excellent. And in my 35 years in the construction industry, our experience in Salem has been probably one of the best.
It is a golden era for healthcare in Salem. Great new facilities have been constructed, and new medical talent has come into our community. From an economic point of view, every day thousands of Salem citizens go to work in these great facilities, provide great care to our citizens, and are paid great middle-class wages. Our healthcare industry is so important to our health and so important to our economy.
Salem features a vibrant, historic downtown, an active art community, and plentiful public parks and trails throughout the city. Recent additions include the new Hoodview Park and the purchase of the remaining portion of Minto Island.
We're particularly excited because we're currently involved in the restoration of the McGilchrist and Roth buildings in the downtown. In fact, we'll be moving our MyCPA practice to that building this summer.
And what has been fantastic is that the city has been with us from the very beginning with their support and collaboration in helping to make this project a huge success. It's very important for downtown Salem to become more vibrant, more livable, and more fun.
In Salem, we have many public-private collaborations that are happening with the arts, which is very exciting for our downtown community. We have the Oregon Artists Foundation, and we have the Salem Public Art Commission. The city and the private are working together, which makes art in our community so fantastic.
One of the things I'm most excited about that we've been involved with is helping to get the second footbridge built, connecting Minto Island with downtown and the Riverfront Park. And I think it's going to add some vibrancy to Salem. I think it's going to be a great asset for downtown Salem. It's going to give Salem something that's unique.
Salem effectively uses public-private partnerships, like helping fund the new location for the Mid-Valley Women's Crisis Center, the Center for Hope and Safety. These partnerships and Salem's public safety organizations help provide a secure and friendly place to visit, live, or do business.
My good friend Jerry Frank often says that people can live anywhere they want and they choose to live in Salem. I think there are a lot of good reasons for that. The Salem Streets and Parks Task Force, National Night Out, Neighborhood Watch, and our crime prevention efforts to train businesses and residents is a perfect example of the collaboration between the police department and our community to make Salem a great place to live.
I feel very fortunate to live in Salem because it is a safe community. Part of that safety is not just the amount of patrol cars we have and police officers on duty, but it's the perception that the community has of those police officers. And I've been able to see that firsthand being a part of the Salem Police Foundation, that we can give back as well and to create an environment that's very conducive to live in.
Salem's many cultures work, live, and play in ways that greatly enrich the Salem experience. A great example of this collaboration is the Mayor's International Council.
Salem is a diverse community in part because we have such wonderful natural resources. People from all over the world recognize this and they've moved here, and they in turn have become a part of the richness of our community. The mayor recognizes the value in this interconnection and exchange of ideas, so she's created the Mayor's International Council to highlight that Salem truly is an international city.
Exciting plans are underway for the city of Salem. The county and transit employees are moving back into Courthouse Square this spring. The Pringle Square development and the addition of Minto Island pedestrian and bicycle bridge will bring residents and recreational opportunities to the downtown community. Public-private partnerships are thriving, such as the upcoming $3.5 million improvements to Kubler Boulevard by Pac Trust, and the anticipated Nishiaki development of the McMahon site. And also, the redevelopment of the State Hospital property's North Campus will enable many great opportunities for Salem's future. Salem, strong, vibrant, safe, and united.
I want to give a special thanks to the people who've contributed to this video. First, David Dolly of Salem Strong Neighborhoods, Allied Video, Mike Gotterba and other city staff, and for all of those who took time from their busy schedules to be interviewed. Thank you so much. And tying it all together, Brent DeHart's wonderful fine voice, again this year, helped tell the story. I have one introduction that I failed to make earlier, and I'd like to do that now. Our Community Development Director is Glenn Gross. Glenn, I'm sorry that I had missed your name in my long list. So happy that we have you as our new Community Development Director, actually. He was deputy for a number of years. So that's a little about the video and a little about our staff. I want to say my first element, strength, is measured in many ways. It can be measured by the number and size of business expansions and by new construction, by the number of workers adding to the economy, by the value of the products made and sold across the country and around the world, and by the infrastructure improvements that businesses and residents rely upon every day. They are the meat of today's report. First, let's remember Salem really took charge of its economic development when this council decided in 2011 that we should have a strong strategic plan for our economic development, that we should require a strategic investment of time and money in 5 industry sectors that traditionally had really been our strongest or showed the greatest potential for the future: agriculture, aviation, medical facilities, metals production, and general manufacturing. So job growth and attracting private investment are really the major focus of the city's economic development plan. The city's role is to manage the public resources like tax incentives, grants, loans, and the access to urban renewal projects so that we can attract private investment. It's a formula that's paying off. You saw some of this on the video. NORPAC is making a $5 million investment to consolidate their corporate office and their marketing and sales teams coming out of Lake Oswego. By moving sales and marketing here and consolidating their office, they actually will have 100 new jobs in Salem. And next door, the Henningsen Cold Storage Company is investing $25 million to build the 240,000 square foot cold storage facility that will add 40 new jobs and really bring new cold storage capacity to our community. This facility will directly serve NORPAC, but then of course it frees up other cold storage space around the region, which we learned from our Mayor's Forum on Agriculture was so badly needed as we have new beverage and new food processing companies coming online, and they need that storage. Garmin AT's Aviation and Aerospace Technology, which is located on the Salem Airport on Turner Road, is investing $11 million. They're building a 54,000 square foot R&D facility, and they're going to be employing 70 new jobs, and most of those are engineering positions. You know, as Dr. Bud Pierce said in the video, the medical industry is a major economic engine for Salem. This past year, Salem Clinic opened its newest facility on Kubler Road with 10 doctors and about 50 support staff, and they're really going to be bringing an innovative level of patient care in that clinic. Avamere is investing right there in the same area, and they're going to be bringing a high-quality transitional nursing center with 78 beds. Salem Hospital is planning a new rehab facility on its grounds, and they've begun a new parking lot to serve patients and employees 24/7. It's one of the busiest medical complexes in the state, and we're pleased they've had a new quality rating and a new reputation nationwide for patient care. When patients don't have to leave town for medical care, everyone benefits. New construction and remodeling of historic buildings in the downtown are really the buzz these days. You saw them on the video. The Doty project is an innovative investment to bring residential units, an accounting firm, additional office and retail space, excuse me, and an Italian grocery to 2 buildings right at the intersection of State and Liberty. You read recently that the former McMahon's furniture site will become State Street Square, a mixed-use building with underground parking, a rooftop garden, and perhaps a rooftop restaurant to take advantage of that fabulous view they're going to have from their upper floors. The private investment and the resulting construction jobs are going to spur even more economic stimulation on State Street, as well as provide a really shining future for that important part of downtown. Excuse me. But I'll tell you, the icing on the cake, the phoenix that's rising from the former Boise paper converting facility, it's going to be called Pringle Square. It's going to change our downtown skyline, and it's going to bring a new level of development and use to the waterfront and to downtown. People living and working on this site are going to have 1 foot in downtown and 1 foot firmly planted in one of the richest urban recreation and natural resource areas in the state. With a total of 168 market rate apartments, 15,000 square feet of commercial space, and all of the parking underneath, this complex is going to set a new standard for urban design. Plans also call for an office building and a post-acute rehab care facility right on the same site. The City Council and I unanimously voted to approve the plans for this development, and the city is going to purchase the park parcel because we're confident that this is a game-changing development, not only for downtown, but really for all of Salem's future. Bringing together residences, commercial space, and the rich natural resources of Riverfront Park and Minto Brown Island is an unbeatable and unbelievable combination. Another important combination has been that the public passed in 2008 the Streets and Bridges bond measure. This year, more than $52 million has been awarded for construction projects listed under that bond, and they have awarded design and construction contracts of about $48 million to local firms in Marion and Polk County. That's a tremendous economic engine that just keeps chugging along year after year. Very, very pleased about those jobs and that work. So ask yourself, do these projects add up to strength? Do they say that Salem is strong? Well, probably. I think so. But here's the real reason that I say that Salem is strong. Salem is strong because these projects have been undertaken by private families, by local businesses, by historically sound corporations. They know Salem, and they're willing to invest their hard-earned money in Salem, right here, right now. And what really makes us strong is that that's going to send an important message across the region and across the nation, that the City of Salem is a government that's good to work with, and that City of Salem is a community that welcomes business and is supportive of the outcomes. That's our greatest strength. The strength of a city also needs to be measured by its municipal financial health. The city is consistently conservative in its spending and cautious in the way that it allocates revenue to provide the basic city services and quality of life. And really, it's this council that has taken the lead in that direction and done such a really, really fine job of managing under tight budgets. In the general fund, we're forecast to have some slight revenue growth, and therefore we really need to hold the line on spending because we know we're going to have expenses that will outstrip that in just a few years if we're not careful. Future projections for revenue expenditures do cause us to be cautious. While we've cut spending, we feel we're at the marrow. I'm not so sure. But we can do little to stop the increases of health insurance and the retirement system increases for PERS. I'll not try in this speech to delve into the depths of the complexities of municipal finance, but believe me when I say it, that our city councilors and our budget committee are well aware of the limitations that we have to affect real change unless the state legislature addresses the stresses that PERS funding is causing on our local governments. Well, with this tepid report on our city's financial future, why would I say our financial situation is part of our strength? Because as a city, we have proven in the past we know how to cut if we need to, we know how to hold the line when we need to, and we know how to make some of the tough decisions that will carry us further. Our bond rating is still AA2, and that's why I say we are financially strong. The housing recovery has slightly improved, and that's a good sign. Ongoing gains in the residential and other commercial building sales has been stronger, and tourism and travel activity have really been supporting our region in the last year. That leads to higher transit occupancy tax income, and that's good for the city. It's good for our parks, and it's good for our cultural and historical facilities that also receive funding through those monies. These are good signs, but they can't bring the growth compared to past recoveries. We must continue to reach new companies and expanding markets. With CEDCOR, we're doing just that. I'm meeting this Friday with a Hong Kong trade delegation, and in March, we'll travel to food shows in San Francisco and Los Angeles. In April, I'll again travel to Japan and meet with Panasonic and Yamasa and IMEX leaders to further strengthen our relationships with those businesses that are here. We're going to look for new businesses as well and see if there are some that match just perfectly the resources that we have at Mill Creek and at our renewable energy park. You know, recruiting new companies and asking the existing ones to stay here is important work. City programs like the toolbox funds and grants, the tax incentives and the incubator assistance programs really go a long way. But for corporations today and for the employees of tomorrow, they're looking for more. They're looking for quality of life, they're looking for entertainment, they're looking for recreational opportunities right outside their front door. And in other words, they're looking for vibrancy. And I believe we have a vibrant community, and we're going to have a more vibrant community as time goes on. From the many music and performance groups who entertain throughout the year, to a new concert series that we started this last year at Riverfront Park, to the jazz nights and the local venues, we do have a wider selection of music and entertainment than we ever did before. The city owns several historic properties, and we're continuing to provide location and support to some of the finest artistic and cultural groups like Salem Art Association and Friends of Deepwood and the Gilbert House Children's Museum. The Oregon Artists Series and the Salem Public Arts Commission, and they're both led by my dear friend Rich Harcourt. Thank you. I've pressed another friend into service. They're doing a great job of filling the conference center and also outside in the new sculpture park, bringing really work of renowned artists just right to the sidewalk and right to the public's eyes. I'm such a strong believer that we need to do that. We have a new artist, an Hispanic artist, whose sculpture is going into place in March, and I'm very pleased about that. New parks and gardens opened this last year. We opened Hoodview Park in Northeast Salem, and I want to say Councilor Dickey worked on that park for how many years? 8 years it took to get that park to fruition, but it's a lovely park. Diana, thank you for all your work on that. We have a new rhododendron garden thanks to the Compton family and other donors, and we dedicated that in Bush Park. But more is on the way. You know, I'm convinced that natural resources and recreation must be our next economic development initiative. Studies show that just having a park in your neighborhood or a large urban park that's available to everyone can actually increase property values as well as improve the health of the people that use them. And we're so excited about the coming bridge to Minto Brown Island, and already festivities are planned, even though construction starts in April. There'll be a fun run, and there'll be a marathon and many other activities. People are talking to me about wanting more boat docks along the Willamette River, and they want also a nice trail that goes from Wallace Marine Park further north on both sides of the river, actually. But you know, we've not forgotten downtown. Former efforts to spur shopping and entertainment are now boosted by an advisory group that's working with our city manager, Linda Norris. They're organizing First Wednesdays, special promotions, and new events for downtown. I know that parking issues have been a contentious struggle, and I'm not going to shy from this issue. We've had a lot of struggle over parking meters, and I felt many times that I walked around this town with a target on my back. I know I did. But you know, I want to say, this council is committed to working out the rough spots, but not yet. We need the hard data and the personal experiences of merchants and property owners and shoppers before we do anything about parking. But you know, I want to take this opportunity to make one thing perfectly clear about downtown parking. The problems in the downtown parking were not caused by the parking task force that was led by Chuck Bennett and myself. They were not caused by the council that enacted the ordinance to allow park anywhere you want for as long as you want. They're caused by apathetic downtown business owners and property owners who failed to speak up, who failed to face the reality that there's no such thing as free parking. You know, we held so many community conversations on the parking issue, and we made our parking task force available. We always received written information. We always were available. Information went out online after every meeting. So I don't really believe that people didn't have a chance for input. When people are enticed with promises of something like free parking, and they sign petitions without asking the tough questions or delving into the figures that there's no free parking, then you end up with a problem. We'll fix it, but when we do, we're going to fix it with a clear understanding that part of everyone downtown and across the community has a role in the parking and has a role in paying for the parking. So let's talk about something positive. We are a safer community than we were several years ago. The basic services provided by fire, police, and ambulances are now magnified by the residents and the businesses involved across the community in neighborhood watch and crime prevention training. That's bringing more eyes on unsavory activity and illegal activities, and greater understanding on how to keep our homes, our families, and our businesses safe. The Salem Police Foundation has already raised much needed money for equipment and supplies that city budgets just can't cover. The Community Policing Advisory Committee continues to be a conduit for information from the community directly to our police chief and our police department. And the Community Police Review Board is a recognized avenue if there are disputes that need to be resolved. Safe Streets and Parks Task Force that I formed about a year ago launched a campaign to reduce panhandling and at sidewalks and intersections. I received so many complaints from the public about aggressive panhandling downtown a year ago, and I'm pleased to say I think there's been a reduction in that. Downtown and parks patrols have been fortified by linking with businesses and the faith community to reach out to homeless people and to help them move off the streets and to move into shelters and into transitional housing. There's an innovative twist also to our process on attacking the downtown panhandling problem. We're asking the public to stop giving money out on the street, stop giving food out on the street. Instead, donate to recognized social service organizations, donate to the nonprofits that have a track record of success at moving people to a more stable and a more self-sufficient lifestyle. But really, who is safer? You and I, we can go home and lock our doors. But that's not the solution. That's really avoidance. Avoidance of a growing homeless population that's caused by as many different circumstances as there are people. And I know that because I've been out and I've talked with so many homeless people, both in the shelters and out on the street. Sure, mental illness and addiction rank high as underlying factors, but this economy is forcing unemployed families and often women with children to sleep in their cars, to sleep on their friends' couches, to sleep in our city parks. United Way and I formed the shelter work group recently to sort out just what we have and what we need. But you know, that's not enough. The solutions are a long way off and we need your help. When I had the opportunity recently to spend 2 nights at the warming shelter, word quickly spread that the mayor was there and that I was interested in sitting with people and talking with them and hearing from them. And you know what they asked me for? They didn't ask me for money. They didn't ask me for food. They didn't ask me for the city to provide shelter to them. They asked me, could we please have some toilets downtown? Toilets. That's all they asked me for. I was ashamed. I was ashamed that with all of our resources and all of our comforts, we never thought about a basic need that everyone needs. You know, we get angry when the sidewalks and the doorways are soiled, and we think we have no responsibility. Well, I don't believe that anymore. So I made a promise. So my fellow counselors, don't be surprised. I'm going to be pushing for some porta potties in the budget, and I'm going to get them one way or another. So before I leave the issue of safety, I must talk about seismic upgrades to the Civic Center and the library and the much-needed police facility. Let's be certain about this. This is not a new issue. This is not a new issue that's been kept under wraps or hidden from the public as have been alleged. Even before I was mayor, probably 4 years before I was mayor, I sat on a task force with Councilor Dan Clem, with other people from the community, to explore the needs for the police department and to see just how the Civic Center could go forward for another 40 years. So for the last year before that, for the last year, City Council and staff have held work sessions and almost 40 informational meetings across the community to explain the needs for seismic upgrade and to explain that we need a safe library and safe parking structure. We must find more space for our police department. Their evidence lockers and their equipment and vehicles are, yes, at City Hall, but they're also in leased space all across the community. It's not prudent to lease that space and to cram our officers into the staff into the makeshift cubicles that we have in the basement of City Hall. Like many of you, I'm watching the numbers and I'm listening closely to what the community thinks and what the community wants. We do need to do a better job of getting those facts and figures out to the community. We must explain we're just not building a big building for the police department. The project would address $16 million in deferred maintenance, as well as seismic upgrades throughout the entire complex. We've run the numbers on many of the sites that other people have suggested around town. We've held open discussion on the decision to keep the police department on our civic campus. The council has given thoughtful, well-considered direction to staff, and we've said keep that facility on the civic campus. We stand by that decision because it's the right one. It's the one that best matches the organizational management of the department and the needs of the rest of our city. You know, community policing is the thing these days. It takes many roles, from officers in patrol cars to police personnel interacting on Facebook, Twitter, and through social networking. Public involvement is greater than ever. It's really this collaboration between the community and the police department that brings the greatest safety to a neighborhood, to a business, to a residence. It's not having a police building in your ward or in your neighborhood. It's really participating to keep yourselves safe. That's what makes the difference. The location of police administration and the base camp, if you will, for our officers as they fan out across the community is really the essence of modern community enforcement. We need to make the smartest decisions now that will carry us forward for the next 40 years. It's heavy lifting on this issue, but I'm confident that like with the decision we made on Pringle Square and hopefully what we'll do with the surplus state hospital property on the north side of Center Street, as a community, we're going to reunite and we're going to support a vision and a plan that moves us forward. Unity is in a community is a delicate balance. In Salem, our city council and city staff are working harder than ever to unify the different voices, the different backgrounds, and the different goals so that progress can be made in all areas. One of our most important council committee recommends boards and commission appointments. We've been working hard to recruit a more diverse and a younger residents to fill those seats that are open every year. We're making progress, but we really do need your help. Apply for those, look through the list, and put your name in. I'll bet you get appointed. And then you'll really learn what it's like at City Hall. You know, the council last year approved formation of a new group, the Mayor's International Council. Its purpose is manyfold. They advise the mayor and the council on issues that pertain to cultural awareness and acceptance. They bring greater recognition and understanding to diverse parts of our community, and they're going to help us celebrate the rich fabric that we're all weaving into the Salem tapestry. I'd like to recognize and thank. We have Chair Salem Attorney Michelle Vlach-Ing with us today, and also Vice Chair Dr. John Chapala. Thank you both for the leadership you're showing on this council. Would the members of the International Council please stand? I think they're right here in the front. Don't be shy. Come on. I want people to know who you are. And not everyone could be here today. Thank you. So I'm looking forward to the work that the council is going to be doing and the difference that they're going to be making in our community. I can't talk about unity without bringing up a subject that some of you may be a little cross with me when I'm done, but I want to tell you, there is an important group of people that are often absent from the meetings that I attend. They are often invisible at events and special decision-making opportunities. Who are they? They are the women of this community. Where are the women, I ask myself so many times. Why was I the only woman in a meeting room filled with men and Congressman Kurt Schrader? There were women invited. They did not show up. I need you there. Our community needs you there. Why are applicants for commissions and committees only men again and again? Why do we have so few women who apply for the budget committee? Why, when we have 4 seats open on the city council, do we have 1 woman candidate? All the rest are men. Why won't you help shoulder the burden and carry the work? Your absence today is as glaring as 1990 when Lester Green asked me to be on the bank board for Commercial Bank, a decades-old bank that had never had a woman on its board. But also, where are the Lester Greens in our community? Where are the people moving women forward and placing them into positions of responsibility and power? I encourage men and women here today, please look around you, see the potential that's not being tapped, and bring that potential forward. Find a woman in your organization, in your neighborhood, in your club, in your area. Ask her to get involved. Ask her to take a leadership role. Hook a sister up. Bring her forward. Yes, hook a sister up. Hook a sister up. Who can be the next partner, the next CEO, the next senior manager? Who's going to be the next mayor? You got to think about this. You got to look ahead, hook a sister up. So time is short, and your patience has just been remarkable. I know I've gone on, but I wanted to tell you, I so appreciate being your mayor. I so appreciate the honor, the privilege, the real experiences that I receive every day are a gift, and they're a gift from you, and I want to say thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Madam Mayor. What a great speech and great information for all of us as citizens of the Salem area. We do have time, I believe, at least my notes say that we've got time for a couple of questions. And we have a microphone right over here on a stand right next to the police officers. I don't know if you happen to notice that either. So to my right, your left, if we have any questions for our mayor, now would be the time. Hook a sister up, ask a question. Any questions at all? Can't see, it's hard to see out here, but. All right. Well, Madam Mayor, obviously you covered a lot of areas, and so we didn't have any questions. Thank you so much. You're welcome. Let's give our mayor one more hand, please. And Mayor, on behalf of the Salem City Club and the Rotary Club of Salem, along with the Salem Chamber, we want to present you with these flowers today. At least I'm supposed to present flowers. I don't see any other ones, so I'm giving you these. They're the only ones in sight, so they are yours to take with you. And I want to thank the city staff for helping arrange today's event. I also want to thank, as always, Allied Video. What a tremendous job that you guys did with the City of Salem video that you guys put on today. I appreciate that very much. We want to thank CCTV for taping and airing this event today, and I'm sure that'll be playing on, and I can't wait to watch myself on television. Just kidding, I will not watch that. Want to thank also the Convention Center for hosting this event today. And of course, obviously the Salem Chamber of Commerce, the Rotary Club of Salem, and the Salem City Club for hosting today's event. Thank you all. And the North Salem Band, thank you, Edwin. Appreciate that. Officers? No, I'm kidding. Thank you all for your attendance today, and we are adjourned. Thank you so much for coming. Good job. Hook a sister up, huh? Wow, how you doing?